Hey, good morning, guys. So I'm gonna jump into the trucking school. I already went to the introduction and how it kind of works out, and I want to skip over the learner's permit, how to obtain that before you start school or while you're at school. But I'm gonna do that for another video later. So for this one is gonna be my first day, and from here on forward, I'm gonna try to show you how it works on the inside for schooling. Now, all schools might not all be the same, but for the most part, I would think that they would be, given that the way that they did it. So they can, that way you can see how each section you're good at. So for the first section, this is all the sections is all about reversing. We have the straight line back, which is literally you're going straight back with the trailer, whether automatic or manual transmission. And then we have the offset, which is you're on one side and you got to back up, but to the other side. So it's almost like a straight line back, but you're just switching over one lane to another, backing up. And then you have the parallel left and parallel right. These are just like in case you need to go park somewhere, like if you're going to park on the street, which is parallel parking. This technique is a little harder too. And you're just backing up from wherever you're at. You're going to either back up to the right into the parking spot, or you're going to park to the left side into the parking spot, and then try to make it in there without hitting the three walls that represent, or the three sides that represent, it could be walls or two cars that you're trying to park in between. So you only have one whole space to get in and try to make it in. And then lastly, you have the alley dock. Alley dock is the hardest one because you're backing up into like an L shape. So not only do you have to use all the techniques that you've already been in each section, now you got to know how to maneuver the truck in an L shape. So that means you're not really going to be able to see one side of the mirror and use it properly because it's going to be useless. So you only have your side of the mirror, and you literally have to stick your head out the whole time. I have heard that that people haven't stick their head out and they use their mirrors, but that is very hard, and kudos to those that did that. But I always stick my head out, so in any section that you're in, you can stick your head out. Um, and for each section, they want you to pass the first one. Like I said, it's not the same for every school, but for this one, you have to get 3 grades. It's either a pass or a fail. And once you pass those 3, you move up to the next section. And then once you do those 3, you move up to the next section. All the while, you need to pass air brakes test because that is mandatory, and you have to pass with 100%. Then you have the pre-trip inspection. There's 4 sections on that one, which is the front of the truck, all part of the engine. Then we have the section B. It's the middle part of the truck, to the rear of the tractor. And then you have the section that has to do with fifth wheel coupling systems. That's a whole nother section, the smallest one. And then you have the C class, or section C, which is a trailer. That one's a little easier as well. So the whole time that you're waiting to get in the truck to start practicing, they're going to give you a book about all the things that the DMV is going to require you to know, and you study that stuff. Study it while you're there. Don't ignore that you have a phone, only for emergencies, obviously, but try to have that book with you. Try to read it as much as you can. And then with the air brakes and inspections, I will get to that to another video as well, because it is a lot. So I will explain that one in another video. But for this, I'm gonna get onto this one. On your first day, it's gonna be straight line back. They just want to see that you can get the truck and trailer going all the way back with no problem, not hitting any cones, or if there's a curb, not hitting the curb, or not going over it either, because people have done that. Now, it sounds easy just saying it, and I thought for me it was gonna be easy, but every time you're new to something, I always had to ask for, how to do it, because I know on a car it is simple, easy. You just back up, and if you mess up somewhere, you can still correct it and keep backing up. You don't stop. But the good thing I did ask for the help, because the way he was teaching it, I got the information fast. And there was another kid with me too. He was training. It was his first day, and he was really trying to listen up and onto that stuff. And he was like, yeah, okay, I got it, yeah. And we were both in the truck with him. The instructor was driving for us. And the one that I was practicing on first was an automatic. So they had a manual as well. But I kind of want to do my own step, just to make sure that I do one thing at a time. So an automatic, we've already been driving that for years. So, it's only going to be a gas and brake pedal, and then your steering. That's it. And then looking at your mirrors. And then you have the manual, which I did after, knowing myself that I was able to do the automatic, moved on to the manual. So when you're backing up with these trucks, you want it to go straight, but your trailer is not. It is going to do the opposite. It's going to go left or right. That's it. It's not going to want to go straight. So while you're going back, you have to look at the mirrors that you have, and you can't stick out your head with this section, because you can't really tell how far your trailer is, or you can see the cones and the curve, but that's about it. So the instructor, he showed us well, and he told us, you're gonna look at the mirror. He first showed us where to look at, which is before we got into the truck, he showed us to look at the rear tire trailers, rear trailer tires. He said, this is gonna be your base right here. This is what you're gonna be looking at from your mirror. This is the only thing you're gonna pay attention to. So I thought that was interesting, because I never would have thought of that, right? And so we hop into the truck. He starts showing us when he's backing up, his steering wheel, before he even starts backing up, he turns it already, but he turns it at a quarter, just a quarter. So if it's up here, he turns it that much. That's it. So before he started driving back, he turned it. And then as soon as he was starting to go back, he started doing this. He started going halfway the other side. So another quarter turn, you could say, and then back and forth. That's it. That's all he did, was turn that much. Now, I say a quarter turn only because there's a lot of us that get worried that our trailer's going to go out of whack, and we start oversteering and then start turning too much, and then we get the trailer to go out anyways. But trust me when I say it's only a quarter turn, and before you start too, because when you start driving back and you haven't turned yet, you're already worried of, oh wait, which way should I go? It doesn't matter which way you start, as long as you started before you started going. That way you have a sense of direction and going back and forth. You're literally going back and forth, back and forth. And at the same time, the reason you start going one side to another is when you start to see the tire in your mirror to disappear and reappear. So depending on however you started, because you turned and you haven't driven yet, you look at your mirror and can you see the tire? Depending if you can see it or not, you start backing up and you turn the other way. Once you start to see that it disappears or reappears, you turn the other way. This only with the rear trailer tires. You can't really tell what I'm really like, how it's done, until you get in the truck. But that's just a tip that really worked out for me. You do not have to hit the gas, because it goes on its own already. So you just keep going like that. I think automatic, you'd still have to hit the gas a little bit. And then you have to hit the brake. Oh, another thing too is, remember all this, you pay them, but just remember, each section that you do, you take your time. The only fastest way to get everything done is to take your time. and to literally mess up and do what's it called? To do mess ups and to correct yourself. So when he showed us, I forgot to tell you, when he showed us about the quarter turn and looking at the wheels, we also stopped the truck. Like, we literally stopped it every time that we needed to switch over to the other side. So as you're backing up and you're on one side and you start to, let's just say the tire starts to disappear, then you stop. You turn the other way. You take time to turn the other way, and then you let go of the gas again, or you hit the gas, and then once you start to see the tire reappear, you turn the other way, but you stop. So every time before you turn, you want to stop. Make sure to always stop in any of the sections that you're doing. Just stop in what you're doing, and you can really think about it, because you're not timed on these. You're just graded to see if you can make it in there. You do not have to do it all in one shot either. So don't think this is a race or you're trying to beat somebody in a competition. This is all on you. This is your time. I'm telling you, the fastest way to do this is to take your time, literally. And then, so there's the turning, looking at the mirrors for your tires. And when you look at the tires, you're only going to be staring at the sidewall of it, and you'll see it. But the whole point is that if you don't see it, then you turn the other way. You see it, the sidewall, you turn the other way. And trust me, that trailer will go straight back. Now, the trailer, you have the trailer and tractor, and the trailer doesn't have its own steering wheel. So you're the steering wheel. The truck itself is the steering wheel. But you have the truck that has its steering wheel. So it's like, it's a little confusing, but it's just not to think about it too much. Just do the techniques that I said. Stop, do the quarter turns only, and looking at the mirrors or not. Looking at the tires disappearing or reappearing. And then that's when I moved on to the manual, like I said, and that was the same day. You're supposed to get, you can get lucky and get all 3 grades in one day. Lucky. The thing is, you might only have maybe 2 tries or 1 try for the time that you're there, depending on how many people are there. But the straight line back, usually you can get that done in 1 day or 2. The first day I wasn't hoping to get grades on them already. I just wanted to keep practicing first, just so I know that I can get this going, have no problem with it when I back up. Even without stopping, I want to be able to do it. And good thing I did do that, because ever since then, every other section did need a straight line back at a certain point. So this is the most crucial one. If you don't know how to do this, you're not going to get through the other ones, because you're not going to understand them. You're not going to be able to focus on the other things, because you're still focused on the straight line back if you haven't passed it. So take your time, try to get it. You will, and just do those techniques. Some of the instructors might know what that is and might be well known. I don't know, but it did work out for me. So that was interesting for me. So I moved out to the manual. Never driven a manual, like I said, but I did have an idea of how you do it. So, I got in the truck. I put the clutch in. I put the gear into reverse. I tried to get it in there and I had a little problem, but I had to slam it in there. So that was a bit hard, you could say. So I couldn't really get it in. I didn't really know what time and when to do it, but the instructor came over and I told him to help me out how to do this. He's like, okay, all you need to learn is reverse them first, and everything else is just follow. So I was like, okay. So he shows it to me, and he shows me how to do the gear shifts. After he got off, I got back on, and I started to get used to it. And there has to be a sweet spot or something like that. You have to get in the shift that you want, in the position. And I did the straight line back. I was braking still. And then once I had that 100%, you could say, I started backing up without stopping. Now with the manual, it does have a brake, but you don't need it. you do have the clutch. The clutch can be your brake. So when you're about to stop, you can hold the clutch in. But the thing is, it depends how fast you're going already. So if you're already moving at a good pace and you push the clutch in all the way, the truck will still be rolling. So you'd still have to hit the brake a little bit, but I didn't need to anymore. So every time I had to switch over, turn back and forth, I just had my foot on my clutch to be ready just in case I mess up or something. So you're supposed to hit the clutch first and brake in any situation. Well, no, when you're coming to a stop or when you're slowing down. So clutch first and then your brake. I don't know about when you're in higher shifts though, like if you're in 7th, 9th gear to downshift. I don't know that yet. I'm going to get into that today, hopefully, because I'm going out driving, which is the last thing you're doing in all these sections. So that's how that straight line back worked. The second day, this was a different place now because the first day was all about orientation and showing us around. So it was a different school, and I got good thing I got to jump on the automatics because the other school didn't have it. So automatically you'd be going into the manual. So I'd imagine it'd be a little harder to do, trying to figure out all the things at the same time. But second day I went to another school and I got 2 grades that day, which was pretty good. And then the next day after that, which was the third day, I got my next grade. But that next day they saw me, because they saw how good I did the first day. I got my 2 grades and I was up to par. The third day I told them to grade me, and instead of doing it on the section of straight line back, they had me do it on another section, but we were still doing straight line back. But realizing afterwards it was only for me, that they wanted to see if I can get it done and see if I'm really good at doing the straight line back. He told me, jump on it, show me if you can do it, and I did it. He told me to do it twice, so I went back all the way. And in this section, this new section was for the offset one, which was the next section. So there wasn't any cones on the sides for me to look at. There's only cones all the way to the back, which is where the offset has to stop at. So I thought, oh, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try. I tried it once and I made it, and I tried it again, I made it again. So I was like, you don't need the cones. All you need to do is pay attention to that tire, your quarter turn, and if you need to stop, you stop. So the cones are just, don't worry about the cones or the curb. You have to, I know you're supposed to imagine walls on your side or other trailers on your side, but since this is a school, there's nothing on your sides other than these cones that you're going to hit or a curb you're going to hit, and that's it. So don't worry too much onto that. That is how the straight line back works. And then the time that I was waiting, just talking with other people, seeing how long they've been there, what they've been doing. Now, I started looking into the book as well, seeing what we're going to study for. Started looking at the air brakes, and I started looking at the inspections of the front, the middle, and the trailer. So in the next video, let you know how I did in my next section. So then every other section after that, I'll probably just show you all the sections after that, all the ones that we do there, because it's just going to be, easy after you do the straight line back. But this one, I wanted to make sure I get it out there because this is the most important one. So I hope you like and subscribe to the videos that I have, and that way you can be notified, and I hope you have a good day, and always make the best of it.